The animal I'd like to talk to you guys about today is this one right here. This is Bertha, and Bertha is a Burmese mountain tortoise. And the reason why I want to talk about her over all the other species of tortoises out there is that Burmese mountain tortoises particularly are true living fossils. They are much more primitive than their relatives, and we know that because of studies that scientists have done with their DNA. They must have branched off of the turtle and tortoise family tree a lot earlier than the other ones did. And they have a lot of other differences from other turtles and other tortoises in their behavior. So unlike turtles and tortoises, other ones that lay their eggs in a hole in the ground and then bury them up and then leave, Burmese mountain tortoises make a nest above the ground, just like an alligator or a crocodile might. And they rely on the dead, rotting plant material that they use to make the nest with to help incubate the eggs. And furthermore, they don't leave the eggs to fend for themselves or hatch fend for themselves. The mother and the father will guard the nest until they hatch. Again, much like a crocodile or an alligator would. So even though they're primitive, they're also quite advanced with their parenting techniques. Now, Bertha here is about, we don't know exactly her age, but she is in her 80s. Which isn't even that old for a tortoise. And even though she is in her 80s, that might sound old to a human, but she's still young enough to have babies. She lays eggs almost every year, and almost every year, some of those eggs, usually she lays about 20 to 30, will hatch. And I happen to have a few hatchlings with me today. So this little guy is only about 3 months old. He hatched 3 months ago. It was in October. And as you can see, he is much smaller than his mother, rightfully so. And when they first hatch, they're very fragile. They do have a shell. They're born with the shell. It's part of their body. It's part of their skeleton. They cannot remove it. But even though it's used for protection, when they're little, it's quite soft. In fact, his plaster on the bottom of his shell is still a little bit soft when I touch it ever so gently. The top of it is called a carapace. And it doesn't take too long for him to grow bigger than this. But it does take him a very long time to get to be about the size of his mother, who's quite a bit larger. So there you have it. That is our Burmese mountain tortoise, a true living fossil.